live. What is up, my friends? It's G-Tron. It's been a very long time. Every single time I come on here, it's always been a really long time. But this week, I would like to come back here every single day. That is actually going to be a criteria of success for me this week, to simply show up and record a video here. So the idea is I'm just gonna rant. I'm just gonna do a naturalized recording, and hopefully I start to get into the momentum. I start to figure out how to make those episodes naturalized podcast episodes again. A lot of it's gonna just be alignment, practice, figuring it out, finding the angle, finding my sweet spot, getting into my flow state, and yeah, priming myself back into that state again. Because I simply have gotten so off track. I have gotten so off of my lane that I simply don't remember how I used to do it. However, I have little glimpses of what it was like. I have little glimpses of it during the day. I've been cleaning up my act. I've been not drinking. I'm cutting back on smoking. I'm still smoking here and there. Sleeping better, and simply executing what I said I'm gonna do. And last week, I actually created an AI agent coach entitled Coach Ginga, and I built a test version of it. I've been using it for like 4 weeks, but I got one out to a friend of mine who is now currently testing it. So I'm excited to see what he does with it for the coming week. So I've been productive, and I've been pushing myself socially. I've been pushing myself creativity and learning new skills, and reminding myself again that it's all about self-dev when it comes to creating a better life. And there's always room for improvement, and I'm really excited to get back to that, the roots, the foundations of what really makes me thrive and progress and grow as a human being. I'm really excited about it. I've been off of that for a long time. I've been trying to piece it together. I've been trying to figure out why I even got off the path in the first place. I just had a little insight about that as I got home. I remember I used to say about a lot of guys out there who are investing a lot of time and energy into improving their dating life or their chances with women. A lot of guys struggle with it in the dating scene. Dating isn't something that comes easy for a lot of guys. It does take a lot of effort and time. Some guys just have it, but a lot of guys have to really try, to have any sort of chance at it, to go meet girls and go on dates and maybe get into a relationship. These things come naturally and easily to some guys, and myself included. I used to be able to just kind of have girls, right? Like, I always thought that, falling in love or getting into a relationship, have a girlfriend, those things come naturally. It's not something that you need to go out and like force yourself to do. And in fact, if you force yourself to do it, often it just sucks. It doesn't work out, and you just end up being frustrated. So it's always just better to allow it to kind of happen naturally. But that doesn't really help a lot of guys, because a lot of guys have issues and problems that can't be simply fixed by telling them like, yeah, just let it happen naturally, bro. And it has to do with the mindset. It has to do with the way that they think about love. It's the way that they think about women. And I used to think like, oh, these guys, poor guys, like I can tell where they're fucking up. You know, I could tell where they're fucking up in that area of life. And it's often just the way that they think about women and the way that they think about relationships and love. They have some hangups about it. And there's some wrong turns. They're making some wrong turns, you know, in the way that they think about it. And so when they engage women, they don't give themselves the best chance. They shoot themselves in the foot. They don't give love a chance. As cheesy as that sounds, you know, it gets this pure, natural thing that happens is tainted because of past experiences or narratives they tell themselves, some rationalizations about how women are, their nature, and they blame women for this and that. And it's just bitterness. It's just straight up bitterness. And I used to be like, man, poor guys that think like this. I know, you know, maybe something happened to them in the past or they were being taught the wrong things somewhere. Whatever the reason may be, you know, I'm like, damn, it can be so much easier. And I believe, I actually believe that you have to know how to love people. You know, you have to allow yourself to fall into love. It's something that happens quite naturally. But a lot of guys just get too much in their head. They try to think their way in through this maze that is love. But it's something that you feel. It's something that you simply allow yourself to experience. Of course, there are, you know, the pragmatic parts of relationships, right? Which is kind of the rational side of it. Like, how do you make a relationship work? Because we're all humans and, you know, we might feel things, but then just acting on the feelings doesn't actually always pan out, right? So there is this balance act, and it mostly comes from experiences, just having to gone through experiences that you learn these things. And I was lucky enough to allow myself to just always fall in love with people, right? I had relationships, I had girlfriends, I had long-term relationships. I've had short ones, I've had flings, I've had friends with benefits. I've had all types of relationships. And every time I simply just went with the natural flow of things. You know, I would meet a girl and I would just jump into it. I would simply act upon my desires and I would simply go through with it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it kind of works, it kind of works. If it goes for a little bit, it goes for a little bit. If it becomes a long term, it becomes a long term. And I just simply lived through them. And the emotions were real. Like the feelings I had for these women are real. And I loved them at a certain point. I liked them a lot at a certain point, you know, until I didn't. Or I still love them. I appreciate them and I'm grateful for the experiences, but like they run out, you know, the time with these girls run out. You know, we have to go separate ways, but that's just life and that's how you learn. And that's a natural thing, right? It's a natural arc in the story. But a lot of guys just can't even get to experience this because they can't allow themselves to go through it. Like they rationalize it. They think women are a certain way before they even just jump into it and allow themselves to experience that individual, you know, because everybody's different. But their idea about women kind of fucks them up, or their own insecurities oftentimes fucks them up. They sabotage themselves. They don't know how to express themselves. They don't know how to actually just be themselves often. And I was thinking about it like, man, you know, this used to be easy to me, and lately I've been having trouble with it. Like Like I was talking about how I've become kind of jaded. And I realized like, damn, I have become those guys that I used to, I wouldn't say pity, but sympathize with. You know, just like damn, you know, these guys that are having struggling with dating, struggling with relationships, or struggling with love itself, just like being able to love. And I've like become that guy, which is so fucked. What the fuck? Okay. Oh my god. Yeah. I gotta admit it, man. I gotta actually admit it. That's so messed up, dude. I've probably made an episode just like this before, but I'm just coming at it again because it's just the state of how it is right now, which is fucking it's sad, to be honest. It's pretty sad. I'm able to keep a sort of good humor about it because I can always I just believe that there's always a way around it. There's always somehow that I can figure this out. Like I'm not the type to give up. And I have to laugh about my own, you know, misery. You know, I have to laugh at myself, at my own stupidity. I have to laugh at my own just, you know, fucking up. I have to. I have to laugh. That's just how I deal with it. But at the same time, I have to look at it carefully. I have to really examine what the fuck's going on here. And of course, I can pretty much I can kind of point what it is. Um yeah, like I've had the last couple experiences with women, even though there were really high moments, I have also had really low moments with them. And I think that basically kind of gave me some emotional baggage. You know, guys talk about like, oh yeah, like she's run through, bro. She's damaged, you know, she's for the streets or whatever. But that is true for men too. That's just true for like human beings. Like you go through some things and you're gonna like get some baggages, you know, you're gonna get some like scars, you're gonna get some like damage, right? Um, and I think I just allowed myself to really let that damage sink in, you know? And that's because I couldn't handle it properly. And I also took in some information that waters down my like, you know, that the kind of the purity, let's say, like the innocence that I had about being able to just fall into love with people, you know? Like I understood that yeah, of course there's the game, you know, like there's that people play games, people are going to be um maybe not as genuine with you, or they're going to be like juggling different people they're seeing or whatever. That's just part of like that's just how it is. There is the game part of it. But regardless of that, I was still able to just throw myself into things. I could just feel things and I could let myself feel everything to the full extent. And I would just jump in and be like, I don't care. I don't care how you I'll give you this and you can take it or leave it. You know, I was able to be non-needy about it. Being non-needy, right? Even in the face of, let's say, a game, you know, a girl game, you know, gaming you, like a girl being difficult or a girl not being completely honest or forthcoming, you know, in my attempt to show my generous, or not generous, like genuine self. Because I think it's a strength to be able to do that. I don't care how they take it. But if I felt something or want something, I'm just going to go into it. And that's how I used to do it. And after the last couple of relationships, I have gotten like a little more careful. I've gotten a little more like jaded in a way. I sort of went from the pure side of the spectrum to kind of more gamey, more careful, less investing, uh, not wanting to commit into things and jump into the fire. But what made everything special in the past and what made everything work in the past is that I was basically just brave enough to jump into those things without like being afraid of, you know, being mistreated or being hurt. Cause I am like, yo, like, well, if it don't work or if she doesn't give a shit, then I just find out, you know. But I wanna act a certain way, so I don't want to stop myself from acting a certain way for, you know, for this person. If I'm gonna just go with it. I'm gonna let it out. I'm gonna express myself, and they'll take it or leave it. And I didn't care. And if they didn't want it, I just fucking moved on, and I just went and found another one. And now I'm just kind of like, I'm just more careful. I think it's just like a little bit more timid. I'm a little more risk averse, and you know, that sort of puts me in a scarcity type of mindset, and also puts me in this kind of a gamey sort of state of mind where I'm thinking of like all the different angles or strategies of like how not to give myself up. You know, like, oh, I'm not gonna lose my power to her, or whatever. Like this this risk averseness, this tiptoeing around the fucking subject, like it doesn't really get you anywhere, and it actually stifles the the chance for me to feel those really amazing emotions of like, you know, romantic feelings or feeling love for somebody, even if you don't know that person that well, like that infatuation. Because that's how it always starts. It just starts with like that feeling, like, damn, like, what is it about this girl, you know? And you just want to like find out. You just want to find out, like, okay, I want to go and find out. So you make the time, you make plans, you get her to come out, you know? And that there is a little bit of game involved in there. Like you got to get her coming out to see you. So there's a bit of that, like, yo, you got to know how to carry yourself. You got to know how to fucking convince her to come out. You got to somehow show her that, like, hell yeah, girl, like it's worth your time. You should fucking come see me. Come see me, you know? And you do that. You got to do that. And then you jump in, figure it out, find out. You know, you go out there, you fucking have fun, try to have fun. And if she's fun, you want to see her again, go see her again, on, and so forth. And that just happens naturally, progressively, right? But yeah, like I just became like a fucking bitter old dude. Oh my God, that's sad, dude. You know, it just kind of hit me. I probably said the same fucking thing like in fucking episodes before this, but I haven't been talking here, so like I don't remember really. But yeah. Oh my God. So that's what's happening, man. Losing your ability to just fall in love with people because you're too careful, because you were hurt or damaged or whatever, and now you're playing games. Now you're like, now you're operating from some weird ass fucking idea about like, you know, women are all like this, you know, so just play it like this, you know, be an asshole, you know, don't give yourself up, just fuck them, leave them, you know, just have a roster, you know, that type of shit, like yeah, dude. I'm not completely ignorant or naive to say, you know, that's not real. Like, yeah, girls have like guys in their texts, you know, like they're texting multiple guys. They're sleeping with probably multiple guys. They have one night stands, this and that, whatever, hookup culture, whatever. That's all real. But see, this is the thing. Like, I really believe, like, no, you can't let that shit make you bitter. That can't get you fucking jaded about shit, because that's then you lose, you know, because ultimately you pay the price, right? Other people can have other people can live their lives however the fuck they want. They can fuck anybody, whatever they want. I don't care. I'm not gonna judge them. No, I don't judge it. I don't judge it at all. It's their fucking life. But like, if you think that and you think bitter about it, and you think like, oh, like, the dating culture is this and that, and the women in the West are this and that, and then that kind of poisons your mind, and it kind of fucks with your purity of like being able to feel things genuinely and being able to express them, regardless of how they're gonna take it, because it's yours to feel. Those emotions are yours to feel, and if you give those up, you're losing. You're losing like a channel, like you're losing a part of your spectrum of your ability to express something. And I basically done that. I did that. That's what happened. That's why I'm kind of bored. That's why I'm kind of jaded. That's why no girl really excites me anymore. That's why I don't really even feel like dating. That's why when even if I'm like, damn, she's cute, like I still have those feelings. I'm like, damn, but I'm like, man, I feel like I've seen it all. You know what I mean? It's just like, do I want to go through that? But that's fucking bullshit. That's so boring. Ugh. It's fucking terrible. I hope I can fix this. And I believe I can. I believe I can. I truly think so. Man, it's fucking awkward to be this vulnerable again. But this is what naturalized recording is all about. This is what naturalized podcast is all about. Let's just be real. Okay? Yeah, look, I don't really have a place that I talk about this shit anywhere. I work a lot, and at work, I work in Quebec, so it's all French. I don't really have a a broadband environment for me to express myself in English. Maybe I can, but I don't think, this type of conversation doesn't really belong at the workplace anyway. And it's in French, and I'm focused, and I'm tired, and I gotta do my job. So I don't know. I'm always at work, and when I'm home, I just sleep, right? And on the weekends, I am an older guy. I'm 39. So most guys are not, just hanging out with their bros anymore. They're in relationships. Some of them are married. Some of them have families, right? And my friends are like, if I want to relate about this, it's like guys that are younger, maybe. I have friends that are younger. But even then, now I'm getting to the point where I'm so old that I can't really make those like younger friends anymore either. And those younger friends are now getting older too. So it's like, damn, this is real dark. Like, oh man, this is what middle age is like, like this middle age, man. It's middle age. It's dark, fucking real shit. But let's talk about it, because this is the first time this is happening to me. I've never been middle aged before, and it's all new to me. Maybe some of you have been there. Some of you are older than me, and they're hearing this and being like, "Yeah, it gets dark." It gets dark. It gets worse. Just to wait. I'm scared, dude. But yeah. I'm just going to probably continue to become more and more eccentric and abnormal as I age, because I'm just probably not acting my age, and I'm still like exploring life as if I'm a 20-something-year-old. Usually I think people get older and they sort of settle into an identity. They settle into the way the world is. They settle into their career. They settle into their relationships. And they just kind of say, this is the way it is. And they maximize that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's great. Maybe if you're a well-balanced person, that's what you do. I don't know what that's like. I don't think I'm completely unhinged, but I'm a little unhinged. I probably, just how I grew up, just the way that I was. That's how my life, the cards of my life was dealt to me. So I had to play it a certain way, and here I am, and I'm still learning and stuff. So that's why I still have to go through this. Now, That's not a bad thing. I don't think. I don't mind it. I know it makes me kind of unrelatable, but I imagine there are people like me out there. So that's who I'm talking to. And if you find this interesting, cool. That's what I'm here for. And like I said, I don't have a lot of places where I can channel this. So that's why I have this fucking podcast. All right? It's what I've always wanted to do, and now I'm doing it. I know I went offline for a while. It's because I've just been confused, man. I don't know. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to channel it. I kind of lost that fire a little bit. Yeah. I got kind of unclear about like what am I doing with this? But I always come back to it. Um yeah. I always come back to it because I think it's just something that I need to do. So I'm gonna do it. You know, we'll find out. That's why I want to do this every day this week. I want to do this every day this week because since I don't really have the answers, I figured I'll just do them. And while I'm doing it, maybe I'll figure it out. I figured that's better than just sitting around not doing it and wondering. At least I'll do it. And then if I still don't understand why, then I just won't understand. But I'll still have done it. It's always better to just do it. And that's true with love. That's true with love as well. You're going to feel something when you just go into that feeling. You feel attracted to somebody. You feel some type of pull with somebody. You just think they're cute. Could be that. Or there might be something more. There's something about that girl. What's going on over there? I just got to find out, you know? I don't know what it is. I just want to be like around her. Like, just want her to fucking. I just want her next to me. I just want to like talk to her. I just want to like look in her. I just want to look into her eyes, you know, and maybe like spend some time together. I want to go do some shit with her, you know. Go for a walk with her. You know, and those things you want to be excited about those. You want to get excited about it. You want to get moved by those things. And if you don't have those, it's like it's kind of boring. If you don't get those feelings, it's kind of boring. You know? And you just figure it out as you go. And that's life. And that's what makes life really fun. Yeah, man. I miss that. I miss that. I miss that a lot. So I think it's good that I'm even just aware of it and I'm just saying it out loud right now because that kind of cements it into my brain. Like that's what's happening. And so next time, you know, I get a feeling, I get a little tingle, I get a little spark, a little flame, you know, I get a little flame lit. Then I can fan that flame into a fire instead of like, well, I don't really want to do this again. Nah, dude, that's old people shit. I guess age does that. You get older and you just have you just it's like you've seen so much, you know, it's like you've seen it all. You've kind of gone through it all. Um yeah. I mean, it yeah. There's really not much more to say. I think it just goes in circles if I keep talking like that. So that's what's been happening. That was what's on my mind today as I came home. And it's been on my mind actually for a little while, I would say. You know, I mean, it can go way back 3 years. It can go three back. It can go back 3 years, honestly. Um, which is when these two relationships happened. But yeah, people get damaged. That's what happens. and they get bitter, or they learn some things that don't help them. You get these like layers. You start having layers, that sort of protect your core. But I think it's better to strip those things off, like you still have the wisdom from those experiences, but you don't want to make it rot. You don't want those experiences to rot and make you like poison your core, your like ability to be genuine and authentic, um and experience that full spectrum of what you're able to experience. You don't want that to happen. I guess it takes time. It's crazy because yeah, I've been probably talking about this for literally the last 2 years, and I'm always like, yeah, I think I'm ready, and then I'll come back and I'm still talking about it, because I'm really becoming very aware. Like I can see very clearly how much I've changed, like how I've let it change me. So yeah, it's crazy, man. I wonder, yeah, like, you know, people out there will sort of hear this and know what I'm talking about. I'm sure it makes some kind of sense. If it doesn't, you can tell me. If it doesn't, yeah. And it's really interesting to get older, It's interesting because everything is new. Every experience, like every age you're at, it's new. Every new year is a new year, and you have experience. You get older. Everything is always new. Just becoming 39, pushing 40 is new. I don't know what to do about it. Um, and yeah, things change. Like the dynamics change, the people change, the way you relate with people change, how you feel about life change. Everything changes, and you never done it before, so you're just gonna have to figure it out. Like it's always the same, it was like this when you're a teenager, it was like this when you're in your 20s, and it's like this when you're in your 30s, and it's like this when you're probably in your 40s, and on and on. It's always new. You're always learning. Hopefully you get wiser. Hopefully you learn how to live better. Of course, I guess probably better off in some ways, but yeah, like you don't want to get poisoned. You don't want to get jaded. You don't want to get jaded, man. You don't want to get bitter. That's the end, man. And look, in every most other areas of my life, I'm still very passionate. I still have that fire in me. I'm clearly doing stuff like this, and I just built this AI coach agent thing that I'm shipping out to people. Seeing if it helps other people. Um, yeah, like I'm still doing all these things. I'm still going out. I'm still meeting a lot of people. I still have these new experiences that are fun. So the fire is still there. I'm still very much passionate about things. It just, yeah, like half of my life where I'm at work, I don't really get to do that very much. It's a, it's a, it's a great job. I like my job, but it doesn't channel everything that I want to do. So I still do this, and that's not a bad thing. You just make time to do it. You don't need one thing to satisfy everything in your life, right? So I have a job where I go to work on a TV show. That's cool. I like what I do. I'm good at what I do, and I get paid. And I get to do this too. That's not a bad thing. Um, yeah. So it's good. It's good to be back and be recording this. I'm gonna try to be vulnerable. I'm gonna be try to be real with you. You know, I'm not trying to be vulnerable just to be like a vulnerable bitch. You know, that's not the point of this podcast. It's just about talking about real things. You know, and I'll try to be humorous about it. I'll try to put my own flavor to it. And that's really the point for me, is just being able to do that and becoming better at it, becoming better at channeling that, my expression, however it is. You know, I want it to be potent. I want it to penetrate. I want it to penetrate you. You know, I want it to like penetrate you deeply. That's what I wanted to do. And so I want to just get better at it, by just simply doing it, right? Being real, talking about real shit. And I don't want to filter it. I want to be as honest as I can so that people out there who might feel the same or are thinking about something similar or going through experiences that are similar to me, or they have more experiences than they know where I'm at. And they're like, oh, Ginga. Oh, poor Ginga. Look at this lost man just wandering around the woods looking for direction, you know? Whatever the case, like, you know, we're all walking at different paces here, you know? Some are ahead of me, some are behind me, but, you know, maybe there's a point that we can relate by just me being able to say it out loud, right? That's the point. That's the entire fucking point. And there's other people doing this. It's not a competition for me. It's just simply the fact that I'm here and I just have to do it. I just have to do it. And this is my version of it. This is me. And if no one hears it, no one hears it. I don't really care. Because at the end of the day, I'm just, like I said, I want to be able to channel it and fucking penetrate. I want to have that penetrating power, you know, in the way that I fucking shoot things out there. So, yeah. I hope that made sense. I'm going to wrap it up. It's been like 40 minutes or something. And man, that's crazy. How did I even talk for 40 minutes about this? I hope it made sense. I hope it wasn't boring. If it was, you can literally tell me. You can fucking roast me. I don't care. You can just, I don't care. It's fine. Whatever, however you want to engage me, you can engage me. And God bless you. And I love you. And I'll probably see you tomorrow. Bye.